This is the new American media. Broadcasting to you live from the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, California, Los Angeles to be specific. Hello everybody, welcome to the Unhappy Hour here on the TNAM radio network, because the news always matters. I'm your host, Brian Engelman, joining you today. And I want to talk about the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns have now hired their head coach, Mike Pettine. Yoo-hoo! He is surely going to turn things around, and I have complete faith in this Cleveland Browns organization. The same one that hired the guy that they had to fire because he was the wrong guy, but the owner said, well, my GM and president that picked the wrong guy, we're going to trust them to make the next decision because of their track record of picking the wrong guy. I don't know, it came down, the decision came down, essentially, to Mike Pettine from the Buffalo Bills, defensive-minded human being. That is his track record. That's what he did over there. He worked on their defense. But Dan Quinn, he was a defensive coordinator, is the defensive coordinator. He will be the defensive coordinator in the Super Bowl. Why? Because he's pretty darn good. Why? Because his team is very good. So, basically, my thoughts on it are this, okay? My thoughts on it are that Mike Pettine, he told everybody, listen, out of respect for the Bills, I need to know if I have this job or not, or else I'm going to pull my name out of the running. Now, keep in mind, everyone that the Cleveland Browns were going after had pulled out of the running. I mean, there's such a long list of people. The Cleveland Browns head coaching job in some circles is considered toxic. I don't care what spin you want to put on it. You hire a guy, Chudzinski. You hire Chud and you fire Chud. There we go. Sorry about that. You hire Chud and you fire Chud, and a lot of the coaches are just saying, well, I don't know, I don't want to go there and get canned. Maybe I won't get another job in the league. And Dan Quinn, you know what, he's had an amazing defense over there in Seattle. Just a lights-out defense. And, here's to me hoping that Mike Pettine's bluff, maybe it was a bluff, maybe it wasn't. I mean, I'm sure there was a lot of truth in there, but it was also good strategy. If you don't hire me now, I'm out. Well, we don't want to lose you. Everybody else is pulled out of the running here. No. Yep, you're our guy. Well, we did have a great interview with Dan Quinn, the Cleveland Browns brass says. We had a great interview with Quinn, and we probably would have wanted to speak with him again, and but we've decided to go in this direction. Oh, okay. Nothing like not being the first choice. How about being the 20th choice? I don't know. If you waited this long, up until the Super Bowl, several days ago is when we hired Mike Pettine, I get it. But, no, you're a week away. Maybe Dan Quinn is the guy. Kind of seems like that's the guy they wanted. Then, of course, the answer is, well, had we felt that Dan Quinn was the guy, then we would have waited. And so I don't know. Once again, I don't know what to think, and I'm not gonna put all my eggs into the Mike Pettine basket. I'm not gonna be super excited about the hiring. I'm not gonna be down on the hiring. Time is gonna tell, and time is something we don't have right now because we haven't seen a product on the field. So the Cleveland Browns are putting together the rest of their coaching staff. And it's I mean, it's the same old story for Cleveland Browns fans. We've had so many different coaches over the past, well, let's just say that we're just gonna have to see. We're just gonna have to see how it goes, because I don't know what to make of this. I don't know how the rest of the team is going to fill itself out. I mean, obviously, you have question marks at quarterback. Essentially, we're either drafting a quarterback at number 4, moving up in the draft to number 1, or picking a quarterback with our second first-round pick. Either way, we're getting a quarterback. Brian Hoyer, I invite him to camp. He's come back from his knee surgery. The kid showed us a little bit. I say you give him a shot. You give him a shot. Had a nice little 3-game winning streak there in the middle of last season, right? Took down Minnesota, Cincy, and Buffalo. Obviously, Hoyer got injured in that Buffalo game, and Whedon came in and won that game. But Brian Hoyer studied under Tom Brady, did good with Michigan State. I think the kid earned an invite back. I think it's time to cut ties with Whedon. I could care less about Campbell, who definitely showed some stable moments and some very shaky deer in headlight moments. Thankfully T.J. Ward didn't crush Josh Gordon in the. You see that in the Pro Bowl where he flipped him? Yeah. I have a hunch that T.J. Ward is gone. I don't think if that's your teammate, you do that. Well, time's going to tell. Are we going to re-sign T.J. Ward? Are we going to re-sign Alex Mack? I don't know. But we had a lot of players in the Pro Bowl, and there's a little bit to build around, and we got a draft, and if we do this right, this could be the turnaround. Hell, did you see the Seattle fan? The one that went ahead and got the tattoo? I mean, you want to talk about... Well, here, the Seattle Seahawks fan, Tim Connors, insists that he won't be nervous on Sunday. That's because a Seattle Seahawks fan who had the team's logo along with Champs tattooed on his arm. What was that, 48? 48 Champs, it's XLVII. Tattooed on his arm in August, says he hasn't envisioned a scenario in which the team loses to the Broncos. Quote, I don't want to say they have it in the bag, but I'm pretty confident. Tattoo cost him $100. It's kind of interesting. So, that being said, am I ready to tattoo that we're going to be the champs next year? I heard Cleveland native Hugh Hewitt talking on the radio. He's really good if you get a chance to check him out. He definitely has that neoconservative bend to him, which I'm not necessarily a fan of, but he's a really sharp, funny cat. Radio guy that I listen to out here in L.A., but he's syndicated, and he had a guest on. He was talking about the Cleveland Browns' improbable run to Super Bowl champs next year. That's the storyline. He's really funny. But, I mean, am I ready to do that? That this is the year, get a tattoo saying that this is the year we turn it around with Mike Pettine? I don't know. I've seen so many coaches in here. All I do know is you got to give these cats time to get things figured out. And I'm not a fan of the Chud firing. I don't get it. But it's not my team yet. So, que sera, sera, sera. By the way, did you see Stan? What is that, Stan Kroenke? Stan Kroenke? Yeah, that's a pretty interesting story. The owner of the St. Louis Rams just bought a big parcel of land in Los Angeles. What could that mean? Stan Kroenke just bought 60 acres of land in Los Angeles. Off ESPN.com, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell confirmed Friday the St. Louis Rams owner Stan Kroenke informed the league of a recent purchase of a 60-acre tract of land in Inglewood. According to Goodell, that knowledge didn't come with any discussion of building or developing a plan to make the location the future home of a football stadium. Quote, our policy is they do have to keep us informed of any developments or anything that is going on in the Los Angeles market, Goodell said. Stan is a very large developer on a global basis. He has land throughout the country and throughout the world. He has kept us informed of it. We are aware of it. There are no plans, to my knowledge, of a stadium development. Anything that would require any kind of stadium development requires multiple votes of the membership. So, you have that happening. The Rams used to be the LA Rams. The Rams lease with the Edward Jones Dome contains an escape clause that is set to kick in at the end of the 2014 season. If the stadium hasn't been upgraded to one of the 8 best venues in the NFL before that time, a Rams lease will then become a year-to-year proposition beginning in 2015. So you got a situation where you might have some people getting nervous. And you also have a situation where you have players and fans especially. You have fans that are just kind of saying, seems like extortion. Now, I went through this as a Cleveland sports fan when Art Modell turns out it wasn't his team. He took the players, the coaches, the infrastructure, and the people that it took to win championships over to Baltimore. But Cleveland kept the team name, the colors, etc. Finally came back in 2001. So, do you have a situation now where the Rams might be going back to Los Angeles? Now, I've said this before. I've said it before because I will gladly root for a second team. I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, first and foremost. But I would root for a Los Angeles team because it would be brand new. What I said I would not do is I would not root from a team stolen from another city. So if it's the Los Angeles Bills, the Los Angeles Rams, the Los Angeles Jaguars, or Jaguares, Los Angeles Jaguares. Yeah, I don't think I would root for another team that was stolen from somewhere else because, let's just face it, I went through that, and I'm not a fan of that, and I don't want to see that happen. So, just something to keep your eye on. You know, this guy might be extorting the city of St. Louis to offer up a sin tax so that somebody else pays for the stadium. I've heard this stuff before. By the way, back to Brian Hoyer real quick. I want to bounce back to that with the Cleveland Browns. From the Plain Dealer here, it says Browns quarterback Brian Hoyer knows that a hotshot rookie such as Johnny Manziel is coming in to try to steal his job, and he's ready to stave him off. Quote, "It's pretty much inevitable. They will draft a new quarterback, and that's nothing new," Hoyer said Friday on Radio Row at the Super Bowl. "In this league, there's always someone coming up behind you or laterally moving. There's going to be someone for me to compete with, which I have no problem with. That makes you better. The question is, where will they draft him? I have no idea. I try not to worry about things I can't control." Hoyer, who went 3-0 before tearing his ACL against the Bills October 3rd, has every intention of being the starter in 2014 and isn't about to let all the talk about the first-round quarterback dissuade him, even if it's a Manziel, a Bridgewater, or a Blake Bortles. Quote, "I was able to start for 3 games last year, and we did well," he said. When I played, we won. I'm just looking forward to get back to where I left things off. As long as I have a chance, I feel confident in my abilities." So there you go. Brian Hoyer thinking big. I like it. I like the moxie out of the kid. Gotta tell you, I like his moxie. Something about him. Maybe not swagger is the right phrase. Talking about swagger too. Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving. It doesn't look like he's enjoying himself out there on the court for the Cavs. And now there have been rumors circulating that he's privately telling people that he wants out of Cleveland. And this offseason is the first time the Cavs can offer him a contract extension. And owner Dan Gilbert, he's on record. He's on record saying that he will not allow a LeBron James thing to happen again. What does that mean? It means, hey, the summer before you can become a free agent, we're going to offer you a deal if we want you. And if you don't take it, we're trading your ass. We're getting value back, and we're going to sell you to the highest bidder because we're not going to be left decimated for 2 seasons to rebuild. So you know what? I'm behind it. How do you feel about frilly toothpicks? I'm for 'em. Then let's form a club. That was a Mitch Hedberg joke. Check him out. Hedberg. Look him up on YouTube. Passed away a few years ago. Really funny comedian. How do you feel about frilly toothpicks? I'm for 'em. So how do I feel about Dan Gilbert's decision to trade Kyrie Irving if he doesn't accept a contract extension? I'm for it. I'm for it. What did Bush say? Either you're with us or you're against us. Something like that. Either you're on our team or you're not. And if you're not going to commit, well, especially in the world of professional sports, got to cut you loose. Got to cut you loose if you ain't getting it done. Cavs are having a very disappointing season. I had a chance to go to the Cavs-Lakers game. It was fantastic. We beat them. Luol Deng looked fantastic. He really did. Not that the Lakers are much to write home about this year, but Luol Deng looked very good. So yeah, you got that going on with the Cavs. I saw a tweet with the Cleveland Indians. Their truck is pulling out for spring training. It's February. Yeah, it's almost the end of the ready for the Super Bowl here. And that means Super Bowl's done. You got some March Madness. And then it's NFL draft and the beginning of baseball, and all is right with the world, and here we go again. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with Kyrie, but something's off. I don't know. The rumors of the fights, what happened with Bynum, is he meshing with Mike Brown? Why can't he gel with Dion Waiters? Is he a ball hog? Should you build a franchise around him? I think I saw a recent report where they interviewed, GMs across the league, and it said, which player would you build a team around? And there were only 3 people that got votes. It was LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving. And I think I got that one right. I don't have it in front of me. Read it a couple days ago, but I don't know. Is Kyrie that guy? Are the Cavs going to offer him that deal? We're going to find out. Or are they, well, I'm not going to talk about where I'm going to sign next year during this season. I want to focus on this season. Oh, sorry, I'm gone. That's what LeBron did to us. Once again, that whole little extortion thing. Speaking of, and I want to wrap this up because I'm just bouncing around the world of sports here. The NFL, did you know the NFL is tax exempt? Check this out. This is off KFIAM640.com. More stimulating talk radio. Based out of Los Angeles over here, one of my favorite stations. Anyway, on their website, Republican Oklahoma Senator, I would have wrote that different. Oklahoma Senator Tom Coburn. Well, Republican Senator from Oklahoma, Tom Coburn. Anyway, this dude has proposed an amendment to the Marketplace Fairness Act in an attempt to end the NFL's tax-exempt status. Believe it or not, the NFL's $10 billion a year organization is a tax-exempt organization. Coburn believes these organizations are taking advantage of the provision of the tax code that allows industry and trade groups such as the U.S. Chamber of Commerce or the Natural Resources Defense Council to qualify as nonprofit and tax-exempt. None of these groups can promote a specific brand within an industry, but each may promote an industry as a whole. Very interesting. I had no idea. That the NFL was tax exempt. None. This one's off HuffPost Sports from today. Why does the NFL deserve tax-exempt status? You may not know, but the NFL League is a nonprofit organization. It may seem absurd that a collection of teams that generate at least $9 billion, so at least $9 billion, maybe $10 billion, in revenue last season would be given tax-exempt status, but the NFL is technically classified as a 501c6 organization. It's so funny. Here's how the IRS describes 501c6 tax-exempt status. Section 501c6 of the Internal Revenue Code provides for the exemption of business leagues, chambers of commerce, real estate boards, boards of trade, and professional football leagues, which are not organized for profit, and no part of the net earnings of which inures to the benefit of any private shareholder or individual. Wow. It's obviously notable that only professional football leagues are included here as opposed to all sporting leagues. The exemption for football stems from lobbying efforts by Pete Rose. Oh, I love lobbying. Hey, here are the rules, except here's the way to break the rules. If you can quid pro quo this for that, kick me some loot, we'll get this done, and the rules apply to everyone but me. Yeah, that's kind of the problem with this country and why we're headed down the crapper. The exemption for football stems from lobbying efforts by Pete Rozelle in the 1960s to earn an antitrust exemption for the merger of the NFL and AFL. The antitrust and tax exemptions were cleverly attached to an uncontroversial 1966 bill to suspend the investment credit and the allowance of accelerated depreciation in the case of certain real property. Blah, 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 blah. Now we're getting into the legalese. The point of it is this. Do you agree or disagree? Hold on. The NFL, I'm going to write this down because this will be our question of the day. The NFL deserves to pay no taxes? No, that's not right. Pay no taxes. How about the NFL deserves to be tax exempt? No. How about the NFL should pay taxes like the rest of us? Maybe that's the one. The NFL should pay taxes like the rest of us. Agree or disagree? So what we're going to do now is we're going to make a hard pivot and we're going to switch over to our Agree to Disagree program. The special guest today is going to be Blake the Eccentric Wally. He's a radio host. And we're going to cover all of the cool stories that you might have missed this week. Make sure you check out our homepage. We went to the NAM convention, National Association of Music Merchants, and got some cool interviews, got some good product reviews, some concert footage, got like a 9-minute solo from guitarist Zach Wilde from Black Label Society, and a little interview with him, where it turns out at the beginning of the interview, I didn't post it, but he's rooting for the Broncos, came out to the press conference, and all right, so who are you rooting for in the Super Bowl? I didn't mention the Browns, because when people take the Browns to the Super Bowl, that has a different connotation these days. Anyway, so check that out. Interview with Monkey, guitarist for Korn, ready to embark on a new world tour. And they're doing a show with Avenged Sevenfold, which sounds pretty cool. 2 very good rock bands. And a whole bunch more. Really cool video of this drummer that has a converted electric wheelchair / electric drum kit. He has no legs, and he has it rigged up so he can play with. It has like this attached to the kick pedal. It has this long stick that he can. It's pretty cool. You just got to check it out. It's at thenewamericanmedia.com. Go on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to that. youtube.com/thenewamericanmedia. We have all our episodes of The Unhappy Hours, as well as Agree to Disagree. We'll be going to the Conscious Life Expo to get footage there with George Norrie and all those cats from Coast to Coast AM. Definitely the NAM convention music coverage. We have a lot of stuff there. So subscribe, youtube.com/thenewamericanmedia. Go on Facebook, search The New American Media with spaces in between and like the page. And on Twitter, we're at American_media_. So please do that. As I said, we are going to take our quick station identification break here, and we're going to be back on the other side. Agree to disagree. Got a few things to talk about. This Maine Core. Have you heard about Maine Core? It's the code name of a database maintained since the 1980s by the federal government of the United States, containing personal data and financial data of millions of U.S. citizens who would be believed to be threats to national security. Data coming from the NSA, FBI, and CIA and other sources, collected and stored without warrants or court orders. It's very interesting. I'm starting to see stories about this, about 8 million people as of 2008 on the list. If there ever were a, air quote, national emergency, these people would be the first to be rounded up and sent to detention centers, FEMA camps. Oh, wait, no, that's not a thing. That's a crazy conspiracy. That would never happen here, except read the book Farewell to Manzanar, because they did it to the Japanese Americans, just because they looked a certain way. Skin pigment, eyes a little slanty. You guys need to be rounded up. Grab your families and go. Yeah, all right. Could never happen here, they say. I call BS on that. So we're going to talk about all these things and a whole bunch of weird happenings throughout the week on our Agree to Disagree program. So thank you for listening. My name is Brian Engelman here on the TNAM Radio Network, signing off for The Unhappy Hour, the only Cleveland-centric, Los Angeles-based sports show that I'm currently aware of. We'll be back on the other side with Blake, the eccentric Wally, on Agree to Disagree.
You are listening to the New American Media.